One push changed everything, but they still say I should let it go. It was supposed to be a joke. A stupid, careless joke. Until it left me with a fractured wrist, a ruptured sense of trust, and a family who thinks I'm the one who's overreacting. Now they say I should let it go. But I still wake up flinching. My name's Dylan, I'm 25, and I grew up in a family that loved to mess around. We were that family, the one where teasing counted as affection, and if you weren't being made fun of, you probably weren't in the room. My older brother Mason was the king of it. Bigger, louder, the golden boy. He always knew how to turn a simple moment into a wrestling match, a prank, or a story he could retell at holidays with everyone doubled over in laughter. I went along with it for years. Smiled through it. Laughed when he gave me a dead leg or put hot sauce in my toothpaste. It's just Mason, everyone would say, like his behavior was some unchangeable law of nature. But last Thanksgiving? He crossed a line. And no one wanted to admit it. We were at my aunt's house. The usual chaos, screaming kids, wine-stained countertops, political debates bubbling under the surface. I was standing on the back deck with a couple cousins, sipping a cider and talking quietly about grad school when Mason crept up behind me. He put both hands on my back. And pushed. Hard. I had maybe 2 seconds to process what was happening before I went tumbling forward, right over the edge of the deck. It was only about 5 feet down to the grass, but I landed wrong. My wrist folded underneath me with a sickening crunch. At first, I thought it was just bruised. But when I tried to push myself up, the pain lit me up like a live wire. The kind of pain that makes your vision go white at the edges. Mason laughed. Dude, come on. It was a joke. But I wasn't laughing. I was curled up on the lawn, clutching my arm, gasping through clenched teeth. My mom ran over. So did my aunt. And Mason? He hovered nearby, still smirking. Seriously, are you crying right now? That's when I lost it. Not because of the pain, but because I realized something right then and there. They were going to protect him again. Just like always. By the time we got to urgent care, the adrenaline had worn off and I could barely breathe through the pain. Fractured wrist. Hairline cracked near the joint. The doctor said I was lucky it wasn't worse, but it would take weeks to heal properly and months before I could fully trust it again. The nurse asked how it happened. I hesitated. Said, horseplay gone wrong. Because I already knew the second I told the truth, it would start something no one wanted to deal with. Back at my aunt's house, everyone was acting like it hadn't happened. Turkey was still being sliced. Kids were still chasing each other through the hallways. Football was still on in the background. No one even asked if I was okay beyond the basics, no serious concern, no real accountability. And Mason? He stayed planted on the couch, playing Madden with one of my cousins like nothing had happened at all. That night, after most of the family had left, I pulled my mom aside in the kitchen. I want him to apologize, I said. She looked surprised. Dylan, you know how Mason is. I stared at her. That's exactly the problem. She lowered her voice like I was making a scene. He didn't mean to hurt you. He just doesn't think sometimes. Why are you taking it so personally? I held up my wrist in the splint. Because I can't use my dominant hand for the next 6 weeks. That personal enough for you? She sighed. You need to let it go. That phrase. I swear, if I hear it one more time, I might scream. Let it go. Like I hadn't swallowed down every humiliation Mason threw at me growing up. Like I hadn't laughed off black eyes, bruises, cruel jokes, because that's just how brothers are. But this time, it wasn't funny. It was a broken bone. And still, I was being told I was making a big deal. I tried confronting Mason directly the next day. We were alone on the porch. I waited until he put his phone down and said, "Hey. About yesterday." He didn't even look up. Still mad? You pushed me off a deck, Mason. He shrugged. Jesus, are you gonna milk this forever? That was it. That was the apology. And somehow, when I told my dad about it later, he defended him. He's just not great at owning things. You know that. Try to move on. So let me get this straight. He pushes me. I break a bone. I end up in a splint, missing work, needing help just to tie my damn shoes, and I'm the one being asked to rise above it? No. Not this time. So I did something I knew would light a fire under them. I made a post. Not dramatic. Not accusatory. Just a photo of my wrist in a brace, with the caption, "The result of a joke on Thanksgiving. Family means accountability. Even when it's uncomfortable." I tagged no one. I didn't name names. But within an hour, my phone was blowing up. Mason. My mom. My aunt. Even a cousin I hadn't seen in 5 years. Take it down. You're making him look bad. This isn't how we handle things in this family. You know what no one said? I'm sorry this happened to you. I didn't take the post down. In fact, I pinned it. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't going to protect the person who hurt me just to make everyone else comfortable. And here's what happened next. Messages kept rolling in, but they started to shift. At first, it was the usual. You're being dramatic. He didn't mean it. You're embarrassing the family. But then, quietly, other messages started trickling through. From cousins. From people who'd never said much at family gatherings. People who used to laugh along with Mason because it was easier than confronting him. One cousin wrote, "He used to hold me down and fart in my face when we were kids." Everyone laughed. I hated it. Another said, "When I was 13, he made fun of me in front of my crush until I cried." No one said a word. "You're not crazy, Dylan." Even my uncle Mason's godfather DM'd me and said, "I've watched him get away with too much for too long. I should have said something years ago." It was like I'd cracked something open. Mason wasn't just a jokester. He was a walking storm, and we'd all been expected to stand still in the rain and smile. The difference was, now I was done pretending I wasn't soaked. A week later, I got a text from Mason. Short, blunt. "We need to talk." I ignored it. Then he showed up at my apartment. No warning. No invitation. Just knocked like this was some sitcom moment where we'd hug it out and roll credits. I opened the door but didn't step aside. "What do you want?" I asked. He looked different. Tired. A little deflated. Still wearing that "I don't know why everyone's mad at me" expression, but beneath it, something else. Maybe fear. Maybe the first flicker of awareness. "You made it sound like I assaulted you," he said. I raised my splinted hand. "I didn't make anything sound like anything. You did push me. I did get hurt." He shifted on his feet. "It was a joke." "No, Mason. A joke is slipping hot sauce into my chili. A joke is switching my ringtone to something stupid. A joke is not pushing someone off a deck." He didn't argue. He just stood there, picking at the skin on his thumb like he was trying to find the right words. Finally, he said, "I didn't know it was that deep for you." I nodded. "Yeah. Because you never had to ask. You've never had to wonder what it's like to be the one people don't defend." Silence. Then, softly, "I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. I just let it hang in the air. Because it wasn't about one push. It was about a lifetime of them. And even though I heard the words, I didn't trust them. Not yet." After that, things changed. Not dramatically, but noticeably. He backed off. Didn't show up unannounced. Didn't post anything snarky. And for the first time in years, family gatherings happened without him making someone the butt of the joke. I wish I could say the whole family rallied around me. They didn't. Some of them still think I went too far by posting. Others keep saying, "But he apologized," like that erases the bruise under the cast or the years I spent being the family punchline. But a few people saw it for what it was. My younger cousin messaged me last week and said, "Thanks for saying what the rest of us were too scared to. You made it okay to stop laughing." And that made all the difference. It's been a few months now. The cast is off. My wrist still aches sometimes, usually when it rains or when I catch myself tensing it without realizing. It's a physical reminder of a moment that was supposed to be funny, harmless, forgettable. But I won't forget it. Not because of the injury, but because of what it revealed. You grow up thinking families are supposed to protect you. That blood means loyalty. That love looks like showing up, speaking up, standing between you and what hurts. But sometimes, family is what hurts. And then has the audacity to tell you to let it go. Let go of the broken bone. Let go of the silence. Let go of the way you've been made small for years just to keep the peace. But here's the thing they don't get. Keeping the peace shouldn't require going to war with yourself. I didn't post what I posted to punish Mason. I did it to protect the next version of me in our family, the quiet cousin, the sensitive kid, the one who hasn't learned how to say stop out loud yet. I did it so maybe the next time someone in our family gets hurt in the name of a joke, people will think twice before clapping along. Thanksgiving is coming around again. I got the invite. I said no. Not out of bitterness, but out of boundaries. Because I've learned something powerful this year. You're allowed to say not this time. You're allowed to take up space, call out pain, and expect more from the people who claim to love you. And no, I haven't let it go. I've let it teach me how to speak up, how to stand up, how to finally stop laughing just to keep everyone else comfortable. And honestly, that feels better than any apology ever could.